Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Endless Legend Symbiosis, where we are playing a kind of strange game, it's turned out. So, now that we have all these maps, and by the way, as soon as we load it up here, Purple is asking for a map exchange. I think we're probably going to do this, but hold on. Now that we've got all these maps, we can see that the continent we're on, this mega continent, is one contiguous band of land around the middle of the world. There are no real oceans. There's this sea region, which clearly has a fortress in it, but I think this might actually be the only fortress in the entire world. There's a little bit of water in Malantur, but you can see here it's all inland water. This region is all inland water. I think there's a couple of bodies of water to the north that we can kind of see. Maybe I was imagining that? Yeah, okay, maybe not. But yeah, we might actually be on the coast of the only ocean in the world, which is a heck of a weird way for things to work out. The other thing that's really strange about this is the kind of stunted growth of both red and green. Now, it may be partially related to, like, conflict between the two. Green and red, or red is the only player green is the only player that red has known, and so maybe red fought green early, and it didn't go very well for either of them, and so they ended up on the back foot. I mean, again, for a necrophage, it doesn't go very well for them. Must have meant that they lost several full armies. But I can't imagine what else Red would have been doing all this time. And this thing where, like, Red's capital has 4 population on turn 55, some weird stuff must have happened over here. There's no way to know, as far as I'm aware. We probably will never have any idea what happened here. But something very strange. Anyway, what are we going to do about it? Well, the first thing I want to do is talk about this map trade. I think I'm going to go ahead and trade with Purple. We know a ton of the world, so this probably comes out a little bit better for them than it does for us. But I know almost nothing about, like, the entire northern hemisphere of the world, and their empire extends up that way, so we should try to learn something here. What have we? Okay, well, they know a lot of stuff. Aha, there is northern water. It's just inland water with some ruins in it, though. What a weird map. This is part of what I love about the shuffle world generation settings. I don't want to know when we set down in the world. You know, I want to have the opportunity to be surprised by a strange world. I want to have to make some decisions based on partial information early in the game, and then potentially have to figure out what to do when those decisions turn out to have been wrong, you know? So we're going to pursue war against Red. Red's troops are not amazing. You know what actually we should do? Since we have a spy in Red's empire, we can see them on the status screen. Here we go. The elimination victory status area shows you how many regions each player controls. So we know they have 8 cities remaining. Okay, you know what? Maybe that's what their problem was. They have produced 8 settlers, because they did have 9 regions, right? They had produced 8 settlers over the 55 turns. Maybe the population problem here was just that they built a lot of settlers out of it. And you know what? We saw them build a settler out of it last episode, right? So yeah, maybe that's all it is. It's just that they settled out all of their population there. Well, let's get to making them pay. So we are researching our plow factory. We're building archers. Yeah, I mean, we're doing what we can do. One thing that I had not yet really decided on was whether I want to sell off these extra dredges. We probably don't need them, but if we do end up going to war with Purple at some point, which it looks like we totally might, because Purple seems to be doing pretty well, maybe it would be a good idea to have a little guerrilla force built up right on their border, right? Yeah, we'll just keep accumulating guys over here for the moment. This dredge, on the other hand, is almost certain to be useless. I mean, there's a temple ruin here, I guess. No, we're not going to need this guy. By the time that temple ruin becomes searchable again, we will definitely have another delver out of this village. And as we accumulate dust, we can, I don't know, accelerate buildings or buy more spies or something. We probably will want to have a spy in each of the other empires, just to keep an eye on the situation. Alright, so I think we're going straight into siege. I don't think we have to dance around here. If they want to come out of the city and fight me, they are welcome to do so. Because I think we can take them if they don't have 210 points of fortification on top of all their stats. Although maybe I'm overestimating our abilities based on, there's like a lot of them. Here, let's go ahead and run around and see if we can't merge up a little. Because they're going to bring an awful lot of dudes to fight us, so we need to be ready for that. Okay, the dust waters run out, the spices and the dust orchid cannot be easily replaced. We'll figure that out. I am definitely not giving you Plow Factory. Yo, that's a lot of adamantium, though, and we don't have a natural source of adamantium. They trust us. Yeah, this thing we're doing, where we pulled green into the war and then we burn a couple of cities, this is going to endear us to green probably close to permanently. It will likely be very easy for us to maintain a permanent relationship with green based on this, which I love. Okay, spices and dust orchid. Can we just buy enough to rerun those? We cannot buy enough to rerun those. We are slowly gaining spices. I guess let's figure this out in a second, because probably diplomacy is how we're going to work this. I'm still undecided on you. Yep, spies leveling up. We know what we're building in the capital. And I mean, let's keep the train of dudes running here. So it's a little awkward that we have to walk all the way around here. Yeah, that's going to slow things down a bit. The thing is, I don't want this army to be right up front, right? I don't want these guys to be attackable. If the enemy wants to fight us, I want them to have to engage with our big army and have the little armies show up as reinforcements. Okay. So we finished researching Plow Factory. I would very much like to get a Plow Factory built. In fact, I think that is by far the most important of the buildings that we have going here. Can we... We can tighten up that build timer a little bit without affecting the research time of Smelting Station. We can throw you into this city garrison. We can have you run across to here. I don't remember what happens in answer to the unasked question, probably that is on some people's minds. I don't remember what happens if the ice melts while our unit is standing here. It probably dies. My bet is that it dies. It might get pushed back onto land, but I bet he just drowns. Unless you have ship tech, but we don't. Alright, and you... Do I have a plan with you? No, I don't think so. Can I take 2 drivers with this unit? You do have 52 damage now. Yeah, that's a little scary. Because I want to just run over here and talk to this village and search that ruin. But I also don't want to die. These are the untamed wilds out here, man. Let's see, we should be able to move to here and talk to this village safely. Usually, minor factions will not attack you unless you are actually in their region. Make sure there is no enemy in this region. Okay, that totally might happen. We don't have any control over it, but it might happen. We're just going to retreat back to friendly-ish territory as quickly as possible at the beginning of the next turn, so we definitely need to make sure we're mashing the Follow Your Orders button. We have a lot of important orders entered in here. Alright, let's figure out what we're going to do about the spices and the dust orchid. Actually, here's a question. Do you have spices or dust orchid for me? You totally do. Interestingly, they actually wouldn't take this offer if I offered it to them. Okay, I don't think we're doing this then. Sorry, let's undo this. I would love it if I could get some of those spices, though. So what do I actually need? If we were to just buy all the spices off of here, it would be probably close to 300 gold, or 300 dust. We need 15 more to pop a booster. If I were to take, yeah, all 15 of your spices, 625 dust would not work. So let's go ahead and buy everything that we can buy from here. Yeah, just about 300 it turned out to be. And then from you, I need 2, right? Yeah, 2. I bet we can buy 2 of her spices. I bet she will do that for a not a reasonable price, but a price we can afford to pay. Turns out she'll do it for what looks like a very small amount of glass steel. Now, granted, I still don't have glass steel income, so maybe I should be a little bit... Yeah. Maybe we should trade something else. Something I am getting income of. We are pulling in some Titan bones, but they're also extremely valuable to me. Yeah. You know what? I don't really like these emeralds that much, and the emeralds could actually save her life. How about this? 5 emeralds for 2 spices, allowing me to re-spice boost. And then, unfortunately, we have no dust orchid at all, so we are completely reliant on other people's quantities of dust orchid. And I think... Did we discover that anybody had any? No, it sure doesn't look like anyone has any. So we're just out of luck on the dust orchid. That's a shame. That's a really good one. Show me this. Oh, yep, that sure is happening. Well... You know what a preacher does in a situation like that. And we are doing extremely well on money. What do you guys want? In a nearby region called Stygarnal, capture or destroy the city in order to get Tier 1 Palladian and Adamantian weapons tech. Stygarnal. That's one of my allies' cities. I don't know that that is going to happen. Let's try to manage their expectations here. Actually, is that the direction I want to go? Do we maybe want to run back? Yeah, let's try to run back toward Green's territory. Oh, they have 6 movement, though. Yeah, they actually could chase us there. Yeah, I guess let's run across the border, in the hopes that that will convince them not to pursue. And with that, I think we're good, unless we have something we want to spend 400 dust on right this second, which I don't think we do. A hero would be around 500 now? Yeah, in the neighborhood of 500. We may well buy, like, Jassa Murdap to serve as a spy in the near future. I guess we're going to see a new batch of heroes on turn 61. Maybe what we ought to do is wait and try to pick up Forgotten, if we can, on turn 61. So yeah, maybe we'll just bank gold until then, or dust, rather. Hey, here's a question. We don't have an empire plan figured out, and there's only 4 turns until I have to do that. Well, I'll tell you what, I would love it if we could get this going. So that's pretty easy. We will definitely have at least that. We don't necessarily need the unit cost reduction, but it does seem pretty good, right? I'd be pretty comfortable with this empire plan. So that would be 196, which we will trivially have. We might even be able to afford to pick up another village and still make it. I don't know if that's a thing that it looks like we're going to be able to do anywhere. I guess these are already pacified, right? We could go get this, provided that this guy doesn't die. We will definitely get back on land with him. Okay, and I think the winter is worse for everybody else than it is for us because of the fact that we have immunity for our entire empire's worth of cities to winter. So frankly, I hope it goes on the maximum possible length. Alright, so we're going to make sure we hit that button. Keep the troop train coming in. And let's see what happens over here. I'm hoping that Green's going to show up and actually put out some pressure. Alright, we did in fact get the maximum winter length. I'm, like, overjoyed. It's very, very good for us. So we made it back to friendly territory. Excuse me. And then the Driders walked away, so we will chat with their village while they are not paying attention. They would love it if we would give them 16 Adamantian. That's a high price. Ooh, check out the golden tree. Man, I really love the environment art in this game. Alright, so we got our plow factory. We should be producing what is just like a silly looking amount of food at this point. Yeah, we're bringing 167 food per turn with no people on food. So every tile that we're working is now producing 3 more food than it naturally does. How many turns of Okay, we have one more turn of boosters left. Stockpiles are running low. Well, this turn, we can get around here, start the siege proper, and do so with 2 armies, with 2 full armies worth of units to fight. You guys need to keep running in. They're not going to be in reinforcement range. Alright, we should probably get some more units going after this. I do think Benevolent Emperor is worth finishing, probably. Right? That and the Borough Street to pick up the extra thing and level up the district. Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna suck when the stockpiles run out. We do, with this amount of dust, have at least the capability to buy more stockpiles. I'd like to wait on this until we have the second stockpile tech, ideally. We can probably afford to do that, because we have a lot of money. We have a fair number of resources coming in, so we can sell stuff, even though we haven't been so far. We're about to get even more money coming in. Yeah, we can probably afford to wait and then buy them all once we get the third stockpile tech and just really have at it. Alright, well, I don't think there's anything else super pressing. Oh, what about this guy? I think we can afford to just leave him here for right now, and then he can search that next turn. Probably. We can't actually see where that Goran army is, but it'll probably be okay. Look at this. They waited until I hit end turn to finish some of their movement. It's very sneaky. Alright, so I want to do this a little bit manually because units don't merge into armies very well if you don't do it pretty slowly. Like if you tell 2 units to move to the same tile, they will not just merge on that tile. One of them will get nearby and stop and wait for the other one. So what are we looking at here? We have a couple of Kekators with really bad stats. A couple of Orcs with pretty bad stats. The Militia are going to be, honestly, not that much better. I think Red's behind technologically. We don't see any evidence of red and green fighting. Oh, I did forget to throw in a movement command for this guy. Honestly, he might be okay. What is this other battle? Ah, that preacher where I was saying he might be alright. He got attacked by a different army from a different place. Well, that's a shame. And Andom is in position to start getting some of these big bonuses. We could finish off Impassioned Preacher. The population of the city's getting alright. What are we at right now? We're at 18 functional population. Still growing pretty quickly. So, like, Impassioned Preacher is 18 extra points of resources multiplied by whatever our multipliers are. Whereas, like, 15%, let's say 15% more science. 15% more science would be, you subtract out the Fervent modifier and the Moonleaf booster and the Empire plan and the Hero skill. So 15% more science would only really apply to the 67 base science. Yeah, we might be better off just finishing Impassioned Preacher at this point. These flat values are in a place where they can go up pretty sharply, though. I'm going to take Impassioned Preacher for now, because it's one of the few bonuses that we can apply to food or industry if we want. We'll cap that out, and then we'll grab the other boosts. So, speaking of tech, we don't have enough Palladian or Adamantian right now for this to be worth taking at the moment. I really do think I want to just take science improvements. And this looks like the one. I know we don't currently have enough titanium to actually make use of these, but we will. Also, titanium is relatively easy to buy. So what would be the conversion cost on this village? 176. We have an Empire plan coming up in 2 turns. We can make that work. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and flip them. First of all, remember, that this is a point of population plus the resources from all these tiles, but secondly, it is village number 6, so it's also plus 5% dust. We got a really lucky map with the Delvers. So the Empire Plan cost that we have to hit now is 212. We are going to be well over it if nothing changes. So I'm not sure what I want to do there. Here, we're probably just dead. We're going to fight this manually. We certainly can't beat these guys in combat, but they only have one move, and I think I can probably evade them. Yeah, they literally don't have enough movement to reach us. Right, if I just walk in either direction, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, okay. If we run to the far corner and then just go into stationary mode, they actually can't get us. No, don't do anything. Okay, well that's the end of that then. Round 5 and round 6. Oh, look at that, he even gets attacked. Okay. Turns out being slow is detrimental. There are things that you cannot do when you are slow that you could do if you were fast. Wow, 150 dust. We've done very well for ourselves on ruins here. So what do we want to do with this preacher now? Well, we don't have a lot of pacified villages around here. We could head back to this region and convert some Gorin. We definitely want to keep gaining villages. I guess the villages in Iberian are already pacified. We could also get villages in our friend's region, but I think they don't like that. I think he will have a negative reaction to me converting a bunch of his stuff. And if we could just convert stuff nearby that he still won't, that the Vaulter still won't be able to attack because of the peace, that'll work well enough. Right, you're building what you need to be building. We do not get another burrow until we hit 12 population. So at some point here, it's going to make sense for us to focus on food again. Let's see how this thing with red goes. That time might even be now. So where are we at on espionage? It would be 7 turns for us to get up to 50% fortification damage. 7 turns is a long time. I don't know that we're going to get a lot of benefit out of the spy here. Yeah, in 7 turns there won't be anything left of the fortifications here anyway. What we might do... how expensive is that ability? Oh, only 16. Okay, what we might do here is we'll just get it close to 25%, and then we'll blow the thing. And interesting, minus 50% diplomatic point gain on empires during the winter. Well, I mean, I don't think we're going to try to win a diplomatic victory, but that would certainly make it hard if we were. Yeah, we'll just get this down to near 25%, so in the neighborhood of 50-ish, and then we'll blow the spy ability. And then, I don't know that we necessarily need to keep the war machine rolling, but it's not a great idea to have a necrophage player in the game. Like, it doesn't help us a lot. We can get more stockpiles. There's definitely more stockpiles available. And all of the space that we open up here is expansion space for the player that we are most likely to be able to remain friends with. So I think it's definitely to our benefit to just keep pushing until red is out, if we can do that. Alright, let's have a look at this. I'm uncertain what I want to do here. We are predicted to win this. And against the Driders that existed in the game prior to the latest community patch, I would say, yeah, let's go for it. These guys with their 52 damage are a little concerning. They're only going to do half damage to us, but that's still 26 damage each. Probably several times. They have very low defense. I guess we hit pretty hard, so we're going to do damage and a half. It's 2 to 3 hits to kill the first one. So we'll take 50 damage 2 or 3 times. And then we still take damage from the second one while we're fighting it. We might just lose this guy if we fight, but you know what? There's no reason to fight. We don't get anything out of winning this fight. And our unit doesn't, die or anything if we just run. I'm being silly. There's no reason to no reason to fight here. And we'd end up in worse shape. Even if we fought it and actually won, we would have less health left probably. So we do not see. Oh, you know what? There may not be any minor faction villages here because that village has been burned. We did see some Nidya. Yeah, there might be. Let's plan to run back to safety. Just in case. Alright, so you're going to be ordered to move to here. These guys could come in and throw their fortification damage on it. If this army gets attacked instead of our main army, it's not that big of a deal. But I certainly don't want to expose the 3-unit army to attack. One thing we could do, with all this money that we have, is buy a second combat hero, I guess? You know, that's not a bad idea. Army health boost 2... So it'd be good if they were a support or infantry hero, so that we could try to get one hero built up to have the bonus fortification slots ability. I'd prefer for them to be a support, because the extra reinforcement position ability for infantry is kind of high up the tree. What's your deal, Eslik? So Eslik is a flying hero. He's the only flying hero in the game currently. So he has a whole different thing going on. Plus movement for flying units in his army. Plus damage to the hero, accessory slot, damage to all the units, and it's flat damage. It's a nice flat damage bonus too. That's pretty cool. Ooh, extra fortification damage. That's a neat skill. And it's extra fortification damage on each unit, so it'll scale up the fortification damage of the army as a whole quite a bit. So in order to get that, you have to go through Siege Mentality. So you would grab like Practice Strike, Flight Master. Maybe we could actually assimilate the Kazanji, and then... the Kazanji do give you a bonus to your influence output, by the way. That's their assimilation thing. So that would not be terrible. And then we could have him lead an army of Kazanji. I don't know if that's a good idea, but it's a very cool idea. He doesn't really have good capacities for leading an army. He does have Chain Lightning, which is fun, because he is a Haunt, and that's a thing that Haunts have. He's immune to disease. The Haunts are, like... I think they're basically robots. I think they're dust robots. I don't think they have, like, organic bodies, so that might be why. That's really cool. Is it cool enough to be better than any of the heroes we could actually hire for fighting purposes? Army Defense Boost 2 is pretty useful. You're definitely a settlement hero, or a spy, perhaps. Army Damage Boost 2 is a nice thing to have, and your combat stats are pretty good. Peyton Quinn is a Broken Lord, though, and so he does not heal naturally. We would have to purchase health for him with dust. That said, we have the income to make that work. We actually don't, in my opinion, have super great combat heroes available. And Eslik Tarash's stats are actually not bad. He's slow, in terms of initiative, not movement. But he's kind of neat. This is not a great reason to do things, but we're going to buy him because he's, like, real cool, because he's neat. We're going to buy him because he's neat. Let's outfit him, and we'll throw him in charge of that other army. We could put our Skull of the Caves on him. I'm not sure if I need this 5 Adamantian. I guess we're bringing in Adamantian from conversion. Yeah, sure. Go ahead, wear a fancy skull. Don't let me stop you. And then we definitely have enough resources to throw a single glass steel weapon out. So we can grab Infantry Slayer or Cavalry Slayer with the spear. I think we're way more likely to fight infantry here. Such as Militia. And then we have access to the really good trinkets now, thanks to our getting random stuff through quests. This is a huge amount of glass steel. I'm not going to bother with Army Initiative Boost, I don't think. We don't need to give him improved movement. He's already as fast as our units generally are. We can give him sharp sense so that he's a little bit less vulnerable to ranged fire, which we're going to have to deal with because we know they have Hernas and stuff. I would love to equip him with this titanium insignia, but we just need to have way more titanium before that is a thing we can do. So I think we're cool on equipment here. Yeah, this'll do. Those are pretty reasonable stats. And then we will slap him on this army. You cannot change the equipment of a hero while they are outside of your territory on the map, but you can change their equipment while they're in the academy and then teleport them onto an army that is outside of your territory on the map, which is a weird thing. Do we want to have one of the armies veer off and try to grab these dudes? Okay, so Battleborn. They do have proliferators. I don't know where those proliferators are, but they do exist. This army is fine. I'm wondering if we want to just zoom over here and grab these dudes at the beginning of the turn. The city garrison won't be able to participate in the attack. I think we have an advantage on that, because these units are not amazing aside from the Battleborn. I mean, their disease is a problem. But yeah, like that orc is pretty low damage. His attack's really good. But he's pretty low damage. He'll die easily. These foragers are a bigger problem. But I'm just thinking, like, if they get to combine up with this force, it's going to make our lives a lot more difficult. And if we were to rush them right here, we'd be able to attack them with a superior-sized force. We definitely want to pull the basic archers out of this army and replace them with real, actual good troops as much as possible. Have the basic archers show up to the battle last. We probably need more melee. Okay, I'm going to try that. Let's do that. So is there anything else I need to do this turn? I want to cancel your move or like make your move just a space forward. Alright, let's go. So doing this will mean these guys don't have an action point anymore and they will not be able to respond if the main force gets attacked. But I'm a little bit more confident about the main force's ability to withstand the relatively weak units that we've seen inside the city. Get them. Quickly. Okay, so they have some stuff in reinforcement range as well. Turns out that's a popular deal to offer us. I'm not giving anybody Plow Factory. Nobody is allowed to have the secrets of farming. I might have him chill here and then just grab that next turn. You should definitely get out of this region. Like, immediately. You, I don't actually even know what to do with you. Okay, is this Geldress army out of movement? It is. Let's go and chat with their village real quick. It'd be cool to be able to get them on side. Ah, that's a shame. Because they do have glass steel and they have Titan bones. They're both things that I would very much like to have for myself. Alright, let's resolve this battle here. So, there's a pretty good chance that they just run. They do have... Ooh, wow. These are actually good units that they have back here. Like, way better units. If they had the ability to redesign units to be like this, why didn't they have them like that when we showed up? That's kind of crazy. Okay, we definitely don't have a use for these bad rumblers, right? You know, honestly, they're not that bad. Let's have them go on. I guess I was going to merge these two up for travel, but I don't actually want to do that, because this guy would slow the archer down by a lot. Okay, we're going to get through these two. Do I want to try to have this guy walk all that distance? I don't think so. I'm going to pop him out of the garrison to grab that pearl, and then we're going to sell him. Okay, so I'm not keeping a real close eye on what's going on with purple and blue right now, and I probably should be. Especially since purple is looking to me like probably our major victory threat. They just settled Enolia. We should also definitely be keeping an eye on the amount of hydromiel that's on the market, because if this rises above 30, we need to act on that. Alright, let's resolve this battle. So this could turn out to be really bad for us. I still think this was worth doing rather than fighting, like letting these units all gather up at the city and fighting them all at once. It is a shame, though, that we did not end up actually having superior numbers. Oh, and also they're all faster than we are. That's actually horrible. Okay. How much movement do they have? 3, 3... The Battleborn are actually pretty slow. So we definitely want to move our units to the side here. Try to keep them off of us for as long as possible. Remember how the disease works. When they melee attack a unit, they'll give it the disease. And then the unit will take 10% of its max HP in damage at the beginning of each of its actions. If the disease damage kills it, it does so before the action for that turn. So it can prevent their turn from happening. And if a unit with the disease dies, it spreads the disease to everything adjacent. So we want to be really careful about denying access to them as much as possible. We unfortunately cannot necessarily control access to this reinforcement spot, but this turn they won't be able to reach it at least. So yeah, these are the only two units they can hit right now. This one's tough, and this one can't get the disease in the first place. The flyer I'll be able to get out to here. Yeah, this flyer being so incredibly powerful is a real problem for us. So that guy's got to go first. Let's see, the dredge should move to here. You should move to here. And then... I mean, you should move to here and then shoot at that guy if you can. So let's see. My guess is he's going to move to right there and attack, which means that all of the archers should be able to attack him without moving. We're going to see some discipline breakdown, though, as soon as he dies. Let's see. You can't get in range to fight us. So he has 253 life and 63 defense. We are going to get either damage or damage and a half against him with each of these attacks. Which means that it's going to take, like, it's going to take all of us to kill him. Yeah, alright. Well, is what it is, I suppose. Yeah, this is going to be really rough. Oh, interesting. It is a shame that we don't get to attack at all, because that means that stun capacity on this guy is going to waste. But they really didn't do that much damage with their initial attack rush here, which is very good for us. The fact that that flyer did not move the way we wanted him to means that we're going to end up with some units that are more exposed than I wanted, which is definitely going to have some serious ramifications. Come on, stun. Aww. We have stun 4, right? What is that, a 40% chance? Yeah. Well, it was more likely not to go off than it was to go off, right? What can you do? The other Necrodrone is going to move up close. This one's a little bit less powerful. But I'm expecting him to move here or here. So we can have these archers shoot at him without risking any serious loss of life. And then these ones should do their best to kill that hero. There's a significant chance the hero just dashes himself against the Rumbler. I do wish we had a little bit more melee in this army. You're gonna get attacked. There's no way that they just let you follow orders. Alright, let's see what happens. So these guys are gonna collapse in on the archers a little bit. But we have a pretty big morale advantage on them right now, which is lending us some reasonable defense. Yeah, morale is not, it's not insignificant. It matters quite a bit. Make sure you are optimizing your morale as best you can in battle. That would be like the #1 tip I would give to somebody new to the game who is having trouble winning combats. Make sure you are maximizing your morale. Ah, no stuns. Man, we got these big hammers and nobody can get their stuns off. Alright, so we got a couple of units targeting this guy. That should be more than enough. You... Boy, it's so hard to know what the battlefield's going to look like after their turns are over. We definitely need to... Like, we have to kill this guy. But we probably don't need to target him with as many people as we are targeting him with. And also, I would love to kill that archer. Okay, so you probably die on the counterattack. The necrophages cannot get the disease, so the necrophage units dying does not spread the disease. But it is worth noting that units controlled by the necrophage player are not automatically immune. Like, these Hernas will get it, or maybe already have it. So when they die, they might spread it to our units that are standing next to them. Although this guy's definitely already diseased, so it's not a big deal, I guess. Okay. We got there. That took a little bit. Well, I don't know that there's a lot of use in targeting at this point. I think that I think things are going to kind of work out how they're going to work out here. I suppose you could go after that guy. Because actually the dredge is pretty unlikely to get targeted, right? We have 3 people in here. Yeah, okay. And the battle's over. We're going to lose this unit to this attack, but I think that might be the only death from here. Yeah, they're not going to get our Rumbler. He's too tough. Okay. That went alright. We definitely had an advantage there fighting in the forest. Whoever has the better range in a situation like that where movement is very limited is gonna naturally have an advantage. Alright, and let's go for that siege damage bonus, because we're gonna have to siege out some cities here. We're headed in that direction. So my army's not even really in that bad of a shape. Unfortunately, we are in a position where I am not going to be able to contribute siege damage, which I don't love. If you were to attack, you would get... Okay, so they could just stay over here for now. Alright, you're staying where you are, you're staying where you are. I guess we are cool. Yeah, let's go ahead and end the turn. Green has not shown any actual military movement that we've seen, but we're not really in a good position to judge either. You can see there, they're Dawn officers with their huge, hilarious axes. Tell you what, those axes will definitely kill some Hernas. I think I'm actually going to move this guy this way. I'd like to be able to see this front. Yeah, like, stuff like this, we need to know about this. We need to know about what is going on in the battle. It's worth noting that if red takes a city from green, and then we take advantage of its weakness and take it, it will just destroy the city. Remember that? That may or may not be a good idea for us. It might be better for us to try to help green take it back by keeping the enemies away from it. Because as much as I would like more stockpiles, I don't know that we necessarily want to hamper green's growth in any way. Green may be an important ally in the coming wars, especially if blue gets out of control. Yeah, future concerns, future concerns. So for right now, we're saving dust for post-turn 61 heroes, so I guess let's just hit that button. Do you have orders? You totally don't. Need to make sure we are instructing our units to move forward. So it's going to be a couple of turns before we're ready to attack General Death. My guess is that this army represented quite a bit of Red's local military strength. They probably are going to find themselves a little bit hard-pressed to defend in the next turn or two, especially if they're also sending units to Shiamir. I'm a little worried about the fact that that didn't just go, because we took a really long time playing that turn. Yeah, this might be an AI hang, actually. I was really expecting that to just immediately move on, because the AI should definitely have had more than enough time to figure out what they were doing. Okay, I'll tell you what. You guys wait here. I'm going to go try to fix this, and I'll just be right back. Okay, and we're finally back. This was a bit of a process. I had Endless Legend crash twice while trying to load the save from turn 59, but we're back here basically where we were. As soon as I loaded in, a whole bunch of red units ran in out of the fog. So, what do we have a spy in his empire. We can see his graphs. He is rated below us on military strength. We can see that his city is currently building a proliferator, which is something I would rather it not finish. But right now, at the moment, it's just two really bad eyeless ones. A forager that's, yeah, pretty bad as well. Kind of a lot of health, though. And these militia. So we're going to have to deal with another 6 units if we wait very long. They have 4 points of movement. They'll be able to make it to here next turn. That's not actually within attack range. But we don't know what else is going on up here. Can we see at all? No, we cannot. Not this turn, anyway. Alright, they do have... Red does have some units across the border. Some pretty damaged Battleborn. Third Builder Gulayawa. This... Here's what I'm thinking. Maybe it is worth it for us to just throw the damage fortification on now. We're definitely not going to wait 6 turns, right? Like, we're not going to let him level up to get the higher version of this. So why don't we just throw damage fortification in now? Get this down by the, 50 or so that it's going to lower it. And then we just attack next turn before any more of these units can show up. What does my attack actually look like? Okay, if I attack on this angle, we don't get that group of Hernas in. And that would be nice. I would love it if he didn't have a bunch of extra ranged units. So actually, if we attack like this, what is that? It's a single weak forager. So if we attack like this, we're dealing with 9 units. We know there's no hero in the city. 9 units that have 100-something extra health each. But it's not a bad start. We can definitely outnumber them. How close do I have to get that guy for him to be in range? Okay, I don't have to move him very much. You guys can get in range now. Yeah, that's good enough. The units on the run up here will not make it in time, but I think this is probably going to be a pretty good attack. Let's go ahead and throw the damage fortification. Our spy was partially wounded, 50% health, not a horrible cost. It's 133, it's going down to 109 before we actually attack. Man, that's a lot of health to get through 109 extra HP. Well, nothing for it. I really do think this is probably our best option. Just trying to make sure there's nothing else that needs to be done immediately. Okay, you do have orders to move out of that region. It's worth noting that at this point, we could start bribing villages instead of questing them. But there's no reason to bribe a village into pacification unless we would convert it immediately, right? Otherwise, we're just kind of throwing dust away for no reason at all. I'm debating, honestly, really thinking about buying a 3rd combat hero just to increase our throughput here. No, we should save this money for better things like stockpiles and better spies, a better class of spy. Yeah, all right, let's just go for it as it is. If we were going to buy a combat hero, though, totally do have the money. And there's some okay ones left. We could get the Polyp in here. Yeah, I'm not wild about most of these guys. Bishop Julian's not bad. Army Defense Boost 2 is cool. And we have enough dust that we could hire him and probably equip him with stuff. Throw him right into combat, just like purchase ourselves another big unit, and then we have enough bodies for 3 combat heroes not to be a totally crazy thing. I'm just thinking, if we could get this city in that next attack, it would be so valuable to do so. As much as I like Army Damage Boost 2, we do have that Army Damage Boost trinket. In the long run, it's probably better to pick up the guy with Defense Boost 2. over like Ozek the Chosen, who has health boost 2. Polyp, who's a pretty okay fighter. Yeah, you know what? I think I like Bishop Julian here. Okay, so we might have to sell some stuff to be able to run him. Honestly, we don't need 2 of these dredges. We could keep 1 around to potentially go and chat with Fakir. You know what? I'm going to sell them all. We don't need these guys at all. Hold on. That's a temple ruin. 6 turns, 3 turns, 10 turns. Don't have any idea when the next eclipse is going to be. There hasn't been one since it became summer, right? Let's leave 1 of these guys just in case we get an eclipse immediately. We can go and hit the thing. Although I guess if we're going to get a unit in 3 turns, no, the 2 guys we're selling here will be more than enough. Yeah, it's way more than enough. Okay, so let's equip our buddy Bishop Julian here, and then send him into the meat grinder. Yeah, you know what? Skull of the Caves. All of our adamantium can go to equipping people with the Skull of the Caves. He could use a movement trinket because he's actually pretty slow. And then we'll give him a big glass steel sword, same as we did with the other guy. We could go one-handed sword and shield on him, and there's definitely something to be said for that. But also, what if it was a big, huge sword that he had? What if he just had this big, huge sword? And there's definitely good shields available, except we can't equip them. Not if we also want to give him the weirdest helmet. Alright, just 1 more body to throw into the grinder here. Go forth, Julian, and show them who is the boss. It's you. You're the boss. Okay, so what we want to do here is just make sure... Does our demon have orders? Like, reasonable orders? Do you have a thing that he's doing? I don't know that I want him to just be hanging out here. Okay. So we hit the follow orders button, and then we... Oh, hey, eclipse time. And then we attack the very moment Eslik Tarash enters reinforcement range. Oh god, we got incoming, come on. Okay, I managed to keep the other armies from getting close enough. So let's ignore this for the moment. They would like a truce, and they're willing to give me the Dust Refinery tech and also 34 Moonleaf. That's very interesting. To be perfectly honest, I'm inclined to take that if we clear the city. I don't know, we'll see. We don't have to make that decision yet. So Andom gets the 3rd point of Impassioned Preacher. Eslik Tarash can pick up Flightmaster. This thing we're planning to do with him is a little goofy, but it would be so cool if it works, right? Do not merge up with that guy. He is very slow. I'm going to go ahead and pop one of the dredges out. Have them just waiting next to the thing. Because that way we could search them both next turn, right? I guess I have to be... I can afford to be right there. Alright, we know what we're doing for our Empire plan. Building cost reduction. We have building and troop cost reductions. Okay, looks like Red's army was run off by a superior green force. Oh, not all of it. And we can see the city is regenerating fortification, so it was attacked. They tried. Well, that probably bodes well for us. The fact that the green or red tried to attack green and failed. Alright, I don't know if there's much else for us to do here. I think in this case we also don't particularly want to just bribe these guys. We have some temple ruins there. There's a lot of temple ruins around here, actually. These villages are still active, so we're going to be a little bit careful, but I definitely want to go for those temple ruins. We're going to be a little bit greedy. Try to get the ones that still have a normal search in them as well. So you also want to be near the temple ruins. There's one there and one there. Grab this one first. Alright, let's resolve this battle. Let's see what we can do with it. So I think we want to put Bishop Julian's army in before Eslik Tarash, just so that we get more heroes jammed into the battle as quickly as we can. Also, Eslik Tarash himself is just going to die the first time he gets hit. So he is of somewhat limited offensive utility here. Alright. They don't have anything really great. What they do have is a lot of health. If we can't get through all of their stuff here, that would be a real shame. Okay, so they're starting in the city. They're going to have a tremendous amount of morale, which is a real shame. We're going to need to... Let's see. The front couple of ranks will be able to fire without moving. They probably won't move. If we can start far enough back to make them move forward. What does it look like if we actually set up over here? There's pretty limited space. If we want to be in the forest taking advantage of the defense bonuses, we probably have to set up something like... That's not what I wanted. I want you here and you there. Yeah, we probably have to set up something like this. Actually, this guy is probably so far back that doesn't work. Probably more like that, right? So what is this? What does this look like? This guy doesn't move, just fires at something. This guy also doesn't move because he can hit either of these two. Then you move forward so that there's room for people to move up behind you. Yeah. So actually, we want the higher initiative people in the front. Yeah, so that they can move forward and make room for everybody else. Okay, let's do it. Okay, so you definitely move up, and we're going to focus all of our fire as best we can. I do want to be cautious about how much I move up. Yeah, you are definitely hunting that guy. You also can be hunting that guy. This dude's not actually gonna... I should have had this guy in the hero spot. Yeah, that was an error. Well... he's not gonna have a move this turn. And if we let him go... he's just gonna move to, like, he'll try to move backwards. We can tell him to go to here, I guess. Yeah, that sucks. That guy just doesn't have a turn. You move really early and unfortunately can't really go anywhere useful. I guess move this way. Alright, so they get a couple of early shots on us. High morale, so they're doing good damage. Okay, really bad start. So far, this looks terrible. Okay, we managed to strip that guy's fortification in 2 shots. That's pretty valuable. Well, hey, all it took was literally all of us to kill one of them. Right, they don't have a lot of melee stuff coming in. I guess we can be pretty aggressive with our moving forward. You are probably not going to get to attack this turn. Let's see. You can move to, like, here. Just have it that guy. This guy is our next target, I think. Because we don't have to worry too much about the Kekators. We can pretty much ignore them. Who are you? You are not supposed to be targeting that guy. Oh, you're a dredge. Well, run forward. That's not good. That spot is already reserved. Yeah, this is unfortunate. So, you move first. I guess we can just tell this guy to move here. We do need to get that dredge into shooting range. So my big concern here is not us losing the battle. My big concern here is us failing to win the battle before the end of the timer. Because if that happens, we're going to have to fight all of those other emerging units in order to get this city under control. Or rather, to burn this city to the ground. Okay, pretty good stuff. Yeah, you can see we can just completely ignore the Kekators there. They're not a part of the battle at all. Here come the militia. Honestly, we're not making bad time. Yeah, we need to make sure that we are creating room for our other units to move forward. Shoot, you moved before that guy. Yeah, that's awkward. Okay, well, you'll have to shoot. I guess you can just stand where you are and shoot. Not totally ideal. I want to make sure we're working on the actual necrophage units, who I care about a lot more than these Kekators. Actually, you're not going to be able to get over there, are you? Oh, no, you totally are. Yeah, that'll work. I was thinking since this guy goes first, he would plug the spot, but no, he couldn't reach it even if he wanted to. Oh, come on. 24. Stupid basic archers and your terrible weapons that I gave you. And your terrible weapons that I am 100% responsible for. Alright, so we're through a lot of these fortifications. Ooh, wow, 60, huh? That's pretty not ideal. So, this guy is still acting early, but we're before their militia. We're also absolutely not going to get them all down here, which really is terrible. Which is absolutely awful. Okay, all the more reason that we got to make sure that we kill as many of the real units as we can, because we have more difficult battles coming up. Yep, I like this focus. You should definitely move to here, you should definitely move to here. And I mean, we do still have stuff coming in. Okay, that sucks. Yeah, and the disease is now spread all the way into our units by that unit dying where he did. It's really unfortunate. So this forest is kind of a double-edged sword, because it makes it difficult for the enemies to move in on us, but then when they do get in on us, it makes it difficult for us to stay on them. Okay, good circular attacks there. Okay, we got there eventually. No, you know what? I think we're going to do it. We have 2 whole rounds left. I mean, it's a lot. We're talking about a lot of damage here. So let's map the turn. Okay, you run forward and just attack one of these dudes because you don't have anything else to do. You... Yeah, you will definitely have to start work on these guys. But while we're doing that, we want to make sure that we are fanning out. So maximizing morale is important. I guess you probably only have to go this far. Maximizing morale is important, but it's also important to make sure that your units all actually get to attack. All that extra attack from all that morale that you're carefully cultivating doesn't matter at all if you don't get to use it. Trying to make sure that we all actually have shots. This spot is not yet used. You could move forward to here and just keep working on these dudes. My biggest concern is this clump of units over here. Alright, so you'll be able to move to there. You shouldn't really go anywhere. You can stay where you are. Yeah, you're gonna have to go here. Safar Bahas can run pretty deep here. I think that's okay to do. Okay, and then you should definitely try to kill that guy. I don't know exactly where he'll be, but see what you can do. Yeah, I think we're going to get him. If we get him, we can just take this peace deal, and this war will have been massively positive for us in a huge number of ways. And as long as it doesn't lead to red consuming green, it will have been all positive. Come on, finish him off. Ah, not quite. I thought we were going to prevent this guy from getting a turn. What are they doing? It sure seems like they're just trying to run away and prevent me from killing them. That's my stupid move. No, anybody who can reach this guy is definitely on this. Why does anybody care about the 9 health Kakator? Oh, you can't actually get close enough to hit him. That's such a kick in the teeth. You can move to here and shoot him. Yeah, nobody else is going to be able to get into range, so I hope this is enough shots. It should be. So there's his fortification. Wow, that's quite a run. Okay, as long as all of the remaining people don't do 0 damage. Sorry, as long as not all of the remaining people do 0 damage. Turns out that that means something a little bit different depending on where you put the knot. Alright, well, that is a city for us. His units have enough... They don't have enough movement to challenge me directly. So, what are we looking at here? These orcs are pretty weak. That one's better. Kakator's nothing. Just trying to figure out, like, if we want to keep up the battle. I suppose we could just save here and figure this out. I could spend some time thinking about this before tomorrow's episode. Because there's certainly versions of this where it's a really good idea to just tap out now with this extremely good deal. He is feeling exhausted. We might even be able to get a better deal. You're just definitely going to pick up some combat stuff. Okay, these units moved in as much as they could. They did everything in their power. Alright, let's see if he would be maybe amenable to a better deal. No, this is still right where his feelings are at. Let's see, in order to move our faction quest along, we do have to run over and convert this Herna village. That is the only village in the region. Yeah. We can get there next turn. I might want to throw some more people on influence, just that I can... Do we have anybody close enough to a village to tell me what the current conversion cost is? No, we don't, right? Do I sell you? No, you can pick up ruins for us. You're useful. You have utility, and so you may live. These are the rules of our society, apparently. So yeah, I don't know how much influence it is. Let's go ahead and assume it's going to be a lot. We can take a turn of generating 318 influence. That's fine. That'll work for us. So yeah, the only thing really to figure here is... Oh, now he's not willing to do this. We'd have to take it down to only 33 Moonleaf. It's a pretty good deal. It really all comes down to whether we think red is able, or whether we think green is able to fight red off on their own. And we don't necessarily even have to stick to the truce. But a short-term truce would give us the ability to sort of rebuild our power in the area, because we did lose a couple units, and a lot of our units are much lower than they were. Yeah, I'm a little worried about that. We have more dudes on the way, though. The temporary truce might be right. I am going to think about it, but I think odds are pretty good. We're going to take this very good truce deal that includes an extremely valuable technology. So that's going to be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching and sticking with us through the technical issues. Come back tomorrow to see me probably click the check mark on this peace deal and then advance our faction quest. And we'll see you then.